If there's one person on this world that I think really does have the best of intentions when he says something, even if I don't agree with it, it's Boogie2988. Yes, I've had plenty, and I mean plenty of criticism for him, most notably my criticism of his unwillingness to wade into, to signal boost the pedophile judge issue within the DCI, mainly because Jeremy's the one who uncovered it, and Lucola Giovanni was writing about it for Jeremy. And I've had many issues with him being a perpetual fence sitter, never actually having his own opinion, always saying, I can see both sides, as if he's Philip DeFranco, but Philly D normally comes down and says, yeah, I can see both sides. Here's where I sit on this. But Boogie, he's a nice guy. He really is. And he was recently on the H3H3 podcast once again. Second time, third time, I can't remember. And he said, I'm not going to remember it completely because I'm not going to play it. But he was talking about gay marriage. Everybody should be able to marry who they want, but he believes that it should have been slower than it was because for many people, the regressive elements on both the right and the left, when pushed into a corner, they can be a bit violent, I guess you could say. And so he said, you know, take the time, slow it down, take the time to change the minds of individuals, because that is the best way to do it. And he's right. If you cannot make your case without going into insults, screaming over people, or attacking them, then your position is illogical. It comes from a place of ignorance or emotion, and sometimes it's both. And he took a lot of heat for saying this. A lot of heat he didn't deserve. Now, this is not coming from a conservative. This is coming from somebody who supports the concept of gay marriage. The Constitution protects everyone. It guarantees rights to everyone. But just because I support it doesn't mean I can't also support something that is said when it's logical. And this was a thread that was started with Boogie saying, one thing I will say is this. When I get attacked on the right, it's normally pretty toxic, but it's also funny. Lots of memes in there. When I get attacked on the left, you guys call for my blood and are downright evil about it. No jokes, just vitriol. Hurts so much worse. Now, Boogie is left of center. He's much more liberal than I am, and he's very adamant, very vociferous about how he is liberal. And the response that you see right here from Ali Medwin. Ali is the digital product manager for Wizards of the Coast, meaning Magic Online. Reads as such. Yes, I see how that works. You say that this wedding I'm planning with the love of my life shouldn't have been allowed to happen for 20 more years, and then get upset that I and folks like me are not funny in response? I question your priorities, sir. Well, here's the thing, is that whenever people on the left tend to disagree, there's no memes. The left can't meme. There's no jokes. It is attacks, threats of violence, attempts to deplatform speakers because they don't agree with them. Yes, the right does it too. I will grant you that. But far more often, it seems like the more conservatives take it in stride, and while they are pretty toxic, looking at you, TD, there's absolutely no equivocation. There's no way to say that the right and the left are the same. I've had my issues with Boogie. I've made memes about Boogie. I don't wish ill harm on him, but many on the left do, and yes, many on the right do as well. Bouncy Bob responds, I think you misunderstand. He's questioning the way leftist people are responding to what he said by saying they want him dead or whatever. There's a way of disagreeing with someone without being absolutely horrible about it, and Bob is right. You can disagree with someone without wishing death on them. It's a novel, freaking concept for some people, especially the people on the left. See, all this crap about Donald Trump saying there are bad actors on both sides and they're both equally bad is true. White supremacists are bad. You know who else is bad? Antifa. The people who go out and attack protesters or attack a prayer group because they support Donald Trump or they don't support the regressive leftist ideology Antifa espouses. They are both absolutely terrible groups of people. Coach it however you want. When you resort to violence because you can't actually make up your mind and make a competent argument, yeah, you're a terrible person. Allie responds, the irony of your explaining to me what I have done in the very tweet you're replying to may be lost on you. There's a way of disagreeing indeed. Landon then responds to Allie. You forgot the rest of the quote, where he said to not be horrible about it. The way the left disagrees with people does not help their position. In many cases, it pushes people away. Very true. Just like when TD posters make stupid claims and say stupid stuff, it pushes people on the right and in the center away from them. Ellie, I see. So you believe that my response is horrible? Please let me know what tone I need to use instead of to satisfy your needs, because in every discussion of my basic human rights, I think the most important thing is that you feel respected and heard. Landon, your response was fine, but you did not include his full quote, and it's true. She did not include the full freaking quote. And they do this a lot. The right does it as well, but the left does this especially well, where they take a small snippet to make you look like the bad guy, and they leave out entire lines of context because that makes them feel good. That's how they get people. And when you're actually confronting them, the only response from them is bigot, racist, misogynist, transphobe, homophobe, whatever. They know it's wrong. They know the title won't stick, but it's a hope. It's a thought process of perpetual victimhood. I need to make you look like you're victimizing me. Please let me, I went over that. The left has a tendency to not be respectful when it comes to differing opinions. I was referring to Boogie saying that people had been calling for his blood and comments of that sort. Allie responds, I'm ever so grateful that you approve. However, I'm surprised someone as clearly refined as you, capable of making perfectly rational decisions unclouded by emotion, is unaware that it's acceptable common practice in English to refer to a whole quote by a recognizable fragment. When somebody does not know what is being talked about and they take only that fragment that you are providing, if they don't understand the context, if they don't understand the entire quote, if they don't know that there was more to it, they're going to take you at face value. It doesn't matter if it's recognizable to you, it's not recognizable to everyone. And that's what you have to make very clear when you respond. Because if you're not specific, if you're not precise, you only damage yourself and your position. Landon, it's important in this situation to include the whole quote. Taking a piece of it just because it fits your perspective isn't right. Your reply above is a perfect example of how the left can't handle a different opinion. You resort to sarcastic comments just because I disagree. And Allie finishes up, I resort to sarcasm because your English teachers have clearly failed you, being unable to recognize that pattern. That you conflate your lack of recognition of a common literary device with my supposed intolerance is farcical. Have a nice day, stay in school. And this is what they do. This is what Allie, the WotC employee, likes to do. She likes to insult you when you hurt her feelings because she's a victim. There's no insult to be taken, but Allie needs to be the victim, and she's going to make that very clear. And so you need to be taught a lesson. You need to have your manhood questioned. You need to have your intelligence questioned. And once again, the right and the left do this, but the left is more vociferous when they do this. Now, this would have gone completely unnoticed, I think, if WotC hadn't doubled down. See, Allie posted from her private account, her personal account, but because she, this is how these people operate, Magic Online Digital Product Manager, when these people insinuate, or rather, when these people put themselves in a position like this, the first thing they need to do is validate their experiences. That's why this entire thing from Allie is validating her experiences. She's a product manager, congratulations, pretends at wit, saying that, the person can't meme. has only her own opinions. No, you parrot the opinions of others as well. Lots of them. Queer, feminist, endothermic. Nobody gives a shit if you're queer or a feminist. Okay, you're a third wave feminist. That's not the same as feminism. Let's make that very clear. Third wave feminism is not feminism. First wave and second wave feminism are more proper to say it's feminism. That was pushing for equality. Third wave feminism is pushing for, I need more. Occasionally discusses work here, which you shouldn't. You should not. You should have a public account. You should have a work account where you don't delve into the politics. You talk about work stuff. See, that's what a lot of companies do. But Wizards of the Coast doesn't do that. They allow their employees to make statements on their behalf. They coach it behind not, it's my own opinion, don't speak for the company. But as we saw with Elaine Chase, it was very clearly the company's opinion. It was very clear what the company thought. As we go on, we find out that WotC has cut off their support of Boogie. This is Boogie responding in Kotaku in action. Hey guys, Boogie here. To clarify, Allie is not the person that said WotC did not want to work with me anymore. She did in fact have some pretty critical and I felt unfair things to say about me publicly, but that's her right and opinion. Yes, it was pretty critical, and yes, it was unfair, but don't expect fairness from people who twist the facts to suit a theory, not a theory to suit the facts. These are people driven by ideology and emotion, not logic. The person who told me at WotC that the company would no longer work with me said so in a private email. I don't believe in sharing such emails, so I won't say his name or exactly what they said. But he said that because I endorsed Jeremy in the past, they no longer wish to work with me. Said that I know you fancy yourself some sort of go-between, but with limited resources, they would choose only to work with people who had not condoned people who had caused so much hate and pain. Are you serious right now? Boogie has never condoned anybody attacking anyone, even when it's justified. Boogie, I'm at a loss for how stupid that sounds. That is one of the dumbest things WotC employees could have said. And yet here we are, 2018. You were friends with Jeremy, guilt by association, you're being punished. What a shit show. Appreciate Jeremy as always for having my back when it comes to this stuff. I don't agree with everything Jeremy says and does, but I do appreciate him giving a shit enough about me, given our differences, to be there for me. He can be a good friend. 6 months ago, by the way, he was saying that they weren't friends anymore. But that's how WotC and the regressive left work. And this is what is inundating the gaming companies, not just Wizards, but EA, Ubisoft, Blizzard Entertainment. We're seeing this trickle in, and it's negatively impacting the games we love. Look at Mass Effect Andromeda. Tell me that shit show was acceptable to you. Go ahead, tell me. I might even believe you. This, of course, led to a lot of backlash for WotC and whatnot. And I'm not going to pretend to completely understand this crap. I'm not. But Tulane Community College waded into it because Unslave Media took a screenshot of one of Brian's posts. Y'all, a post that he liked. Y'all, it's time to let the boogeyman go. Block, unfollow, disengage. Block him in the tweets, block him in the streets. Why do we care if he stares? You've all been more than fair. So long, farewell, I'll even say adieu. That's right, because he disagrees with a position these low IQ plebs have. You need to unperson him until he comes back into the fold. How dare you? How dare you hold an opinion that I don't agree with? You need to be deplatformed and unpersoned. No, that's fucked up. That's 100% fucked up. But once again, these are people who are driven by ideology and emotion, not logic. Now, Tulare Community College, Brian did say, lol, I unliked that. I originally thought it was about you. Brian, for a professor, you're pretty fucking stupid. How can you not see the capitalized Boogie in there? This is why you were only an adjunct. Now, see, I lowered my voice there so he'd understand that he should listen to. Okay? It's like midnight here. My voice is pretty low. I'm not getting too emotional, but I want him to take that into consideration because it's pretty fucking stupid. We go down a little bit. Unsleep media there. Sorry, no content there, meaning, haha, you got played. Me, how do you fuck that up though? The name is in that word. And that's a valid fucking question. How do you mess that up? Even me, I have my moments. I would have figured out what was being talked about very quickly. Just saying. And of course, the usual, probably the same reason I call Jeremy Voldemort. It's not hard to hit like on a tweet thinking it's about someone else. Because you want it to be... Once again, you are taking the facts and trying to support your theory, rather than taking your theory to support the facts. And what is it with these manlets, these beta male individuals who think that calling someone Voldemort, a person who doesn't exist, people, is going to make anything better? I mean, I'm literally sitting here going, what the hell? It's like when they call Trump Voldemort. We need to equate this person with a bad guy from a fictional universe so that people in reality understand that we're losing it. Me, I don't know why you'd call him Voldemort. He's certainly not on that level. Seems a bit hyperbolic. Just like Voldemort being obsessed with a child, Jeremy is obsessed with ruining magic. Now I want to make this clear. I was originally going to make this video about one basic thing, and that's criticism isn't just by people who dislike your company or your product or you as an individual. Any thought process, any product deserves criticism when it's due. And some of the more vociferous critics will actually be supporters. I'm very critical of World of Warcraft because I don't like where it's gone. That doesn't mean I want WoW to fail. I don't want Blizzard to fail. I want to make it very clear that they made mistakes. How is that me wanting it to fail? When I talk negatively about Ark and Studio Wildcard, it's not because I want Ark to fail, it's because they messed up and they deserve criticism. When I mess up, I've had my own supporters say I expected better of you. And they're right. Just because you don't agree with the decision, you have criticism, does not make you an enemy. It means that you can think for yourself, that you're not drinking the proverbial Kool-Aid. I have been very critical of Jeremy in the past. I've been very critical of a lot of people that I agree with normally in the past. That does not mean that I am against them. Sometimes the criticism is because you remember how it was, you wanted to go back to that. And the only way to get people to listen is to take your support and be critical of decisions. Not to white knight, not to defend bad decisions. Once again, this is Wildcard. This is WotC doubling down. Employees allowed to run rampant and do whatever they want. And WotC needs to stomp that. They need to river dance on those dicks until people understand you can have an opinion, just don't do it in a way that makes us look bad